All through this very emotional drama of Raila Odinga and the African Union job that he's going for, there is something that has not gone unnoticed. The silence of a prominent Kenyan, the fourth President of the Republic of Kenya, one Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru, please, say something. Say something about this AU job so that we understand, so that we're able to analyze, so that we're able to start getting an idea of what is going on. Because there are problems in Kenya. There are many things Raila is supposed to fix in Kenya. And now you're telling us he's going out of the country. He's going to Addis Ababa to take up a job, a very big job, with the African Union. Yes, Abwaingi. That is the feeling of Kenyans. You know, silence is a very powerful political weapon. Oh yes. And it has been used by many leaders all over the world to achieve a lot. To reach certain objectives and to achieve a lot politically. And I believe the fourth President of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, is very skillful in using this mega weapon called silence. But before we discuss what I think Uhuru is telling us, with this deafening silence on Raila's AU job, before that, let me remind you of a time in the past that Uhuru has used this same weapon very successfully. When Uhuru fell out with Ruto and the 2022 presidential elections were rapidly approaching, or rather the decision of the Jubilee Party as to who would be the presidential candidate for that party in 2022. As that was unfolding, Uhuru used the weapon of silence. And he said nothing. To cut a very long story short, do you know what Ruto's reaction was to that silence? He couldn't bear it. So much so that he decided to break away from the play acting. You know, the two gentlemen were doing a Hollywood movie for us, pretending that everything was okay. Do you remember that time? Pretending that things were still okay between the two of them. If you don't believe me, go back and review the news items. It was Ruto who started the animosity against President Uhuru, his boss, because he could not bear Uhuru's silence anymore. Granted, Ruto knew that Uhuru was not going to back him. But his strategy was for Uhuru to come out and say clearly, I no longer support Ruto for the presidency. That is what he was waiting for. And he was going to gain a lot politically. Now, I want you to cast your mind back. In all that drama, the truth is, Ruto looked like the victim. Isn't that correct? But explain to me why Ruto did not enjoy the support, widespread support, that a victim usually enjoys. It was because of Uhuru's very smart strategy, which was hinged on silence, not saying anything. People are waiting for you to talk about something, you say nothing. You talk about the weather, you talk about a lot of other things, but that hot potato, auguzi, you don't talk about it. In my analysis, that single move Ruto made of being the first to throw barbs at his boss Uhuru Kenyatta lost him tons of support that he would otherwise have enjoyed had he just waited it out. Had he just waited. and kept on pretending, so that Uhuru would have been forced to say, no, I'm not going to support Ruto, I'm going to support Raila. And then the sympathy wave of emotions and support would have come out like a flood for Ruto. So, why is Uhuru silent about this AU job and Raila? Why? In my opinion, it is the most compelling piece of evidence that there's something wrong. Okay? Because if all was well, Uhuru would have said something. Maybe something like, I support my brother Raila. He is very capable. I will talk to my network, I will talk to my contacts to ensure that he has enough support to win this new job. Something like that. But to this day, Uhuru has remained with sealed lips. He has said nothing. Zilch. In my opinion, Uhuru's silence confirms all the crazy stories we have heard about Raila and this AU job. Like the one that it is being forced upon him by some very powerful forces. Yeah, for obvious reasons. To get him out of the way politically. Ndo Wakenya wanyoroshwe vizuri. Yes. It is crystal clear that Uhuru Kenyatta's silence is telling us a lot. You know, those who started following Raila Odinga yesterday cannot understand. Because according to them, Raila will always speak from his heart. Now hold on a minute. Isn't that political suicide? When you're in politics, there are times when you should never speak from your heart for political reasons. And so these Kenyans get very confused when Raila Odinga comes out and tells us, I'm campaigning very hard for this job. I'm going to be traveling all over Africa to convince heads of state. I am working very hard towards getting this job. Huh? What is Raila saying? The house called Kenya is burning. And this man is talking about a job somewhere else. Ametuuza, ametuuza. That is the view of many Kenyans who don't understand politics. Who don't understand the extraordinary times in which we live. Which, by the way, was predicted a long time ago. What we're going through will not surprise those who have been following Bible prophecy closely. That is the truth. Chris, hiyo nini? We don't understand. What are you talking about? How does religion come into this? I know. Okay? So I'll not go any further. But I have said it. And it is the truth. And it will remain the truth. You know, the truth cannot go away just because you have rubbished it. No. Even if you bury the truth, as so many criminals have found out, yeah, even if you bury the truth, one day it will come out. Burying the truth is like throwing a seed somewhere. It is like burying a seed very deep in the ground, so that it disappears, vanishes, never to be seen again. And things happen. People are always developing the land. And one day somebody digs down 20 feet. And in the course of that development, somebody shovels that seed in a pile of soil to the side. And a lorry comes up and picks that soil and goes to discard it somewhere else. And rains come, but they're not enough to revive that seed. And then the third rains after that arrive. And that seed germinates. And it shoots out of the ground. The truth that you buried shoots out for everybody to see. In all its clear greenness. Yeah, what you thought was buried and forgotten, but was the truth, has emerged. That is the nature of this life. But there is another very important burning question many Kenyans have. Are Uhuru and Raila still friends? Are they still working together? Well, the answer to that question, believe it or not, is a very firm yes. Yes, they're still working together. Nothing has changed. Now, I know that may be very hard to believe. Yeah. And therefore, I need to give you some information that I suspect you do not have. Some of it, I am sure most of us do not have, because I came across it very, very recently. You see, actually, all this makes sense. Okay? There is a very interesting link to the BBI. There is a very interesting link to Amos Wako and the time he was banned from entering a certain country in the West. And there's also a link to a very recent appointment of the Consul General in Los Angeles, a Mr. Ezra Chiloba, or Chilobai, as his fans like to call him. There is a link. There are links there. And all this is discussed in my very latest highly sensitive report, which will open your eyes to see things the way you have never seen them before. Yeah? You will realize that reading the daily news, following developments without this information, is just a waste of time, because everything is predictable. Believe it or not, stopping reggae was just a dress rehearsal, or shall I call it a dry run, to what happened in 2022. Okay? Now, it took me a lot of time and effort to put all this information together. And when you take in this sensitive report, you will be able to understand exactly what I'm talking about. Because it all starts with the time during the presidency of Kibaki, when I received information that the then Minister for Agriculture, Abwana Ruto, was about to face a travel ban. But then what ended up happening was extremely puzzling. Because unknown to most Kenyans, the person who was banned from traveling to the United States was already in the United States, was already living there, was already operating a company there. What? Wonders never cease. Everything suggested that names had been switched. And so you have to ask yourself, why? Okay? All the answers become very clear when you look at everything in retrospect. Backwards, starting from right now in Kenya, the year 2024, you just look at everything backwards, everything fits in like a glove. My special report, Unimaginable Secrets of the Server, is available for only $30 or Kenya shillings 3,999. And I'm targeting only 10 people because of the highly sensitive nature of this information. You know, in the past, yours truly has received threats. That is very normal at the level we operate on this channel. Yeah, the information you get many times is not the information that is widely available. So please understand me and please bear with me. 10 people, first come, first served. I believe you can see details on your screens right now. Please take action quickly to avoid disappointment. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.